the amount consumed goes up even more. The extent of overconsumption, hence data loss, is now bigger. Do you follow? Take your time, okay? Usually for negative externality, we tax, but now we are talking about subsidizing it. So it makes the situation worse. Questions? Yeah, when you talk about R2, is when you tax, it does more harm than good. So here, we'll probably be saying things like, it worsens inequity. And I can also think of, due to imperfect info on the government's part, it may overtax, thus resulting in underconsumption. And this can even cause government failure if the new data loss is larger than before. So what I see for my R1 and my R2, okay, R1, R2 is basically the cons of intervention with the spotlight on the trade-off between the goals of efficiency and equity. Usually we talk about the drawbacks of a tax. We will consider how it makes petrol or it makes the good more unaffordable. Unless it's a tax on cigarettes, then you don't talk about equity. Okay? But here the spotlight is here. Because the question is drafted in that certain way where we have to talk about the trade-off. And if you want to impress the examiner with the range of points, you can even say how it aggravates cost-push inflation. Remember, if it's part of the dartboard, it is part of your scope. It is relevant. The only question is whether we have enough time, because we don't need to write exhaustive answers. Okay, but if you're wondering which points are relevant, use the dartboard to decide. Okay. Questions? I feel this question is challenging because this E1 and E2, I think Richie, as you were saying, this probably overlaps with your part A. I don't know what else to write. But can I share this with you? E1, E2 is to get evaluation marks, correct? For part B, how many marks do you get for evaluation? 5. But you have a summative towards the end that will take about 2 to 3 marks. Which means E1 and E2, ultimately, how many marks are we fighting for? 2 to 3 marks also. Can we follow that? So the idea here is R1, usually we need to add a D, D, E, E to beef it up. R2, we also need to add B, D, E, E to beef up the content, aka the rigor. But E1, E2, no need D, D, E, E. Don't need D, D, E, E. Is that okay? So E1, E2 usually 2 to 3 lines, 3 to 4 lines. If your E2 is longer than R1, sorry, E1 is longer than R1, something is wrong. The cart is pulling the horse. The tail is wagging the dog. Okay? Wrong order.